Chapter 15. Race Against Time. After hearing Arith's manifest spell, Ven's rings sensed immediate danger, sending a signal to his brain to tell his body to move accordingly. Ven dodged out of the way quickly. He witnessed the entire landscape behind him being erased, leaving nothing but a mile-long slash mark. Ven looked back in concern. Whoa, if I hadn't had my rings helping me out, I'd be in several pieces right now. Suddenly, Ven happened to get another sense of danger again and dodged completely on instinct. He made it out of the way just in time, but his right shoulder had been wounded by the slash. It was a really deep cut. Ven covered his arm that had been injured, then focused in on her. She isn't moving at all, so how is she doing that? He thought. His wound had been bleeding severely. This was now a race against time. It had been a matter of defeating her before he lost too much blood. To slow down the effects, he used his white ring to temporarily stop the bleeding, which would last for only 5 minutes. After that, Ven would suffer from blood loss, rendering him incapable of continuing the fight, which would result in his defeat. While he had been free of the pain, he decided that he would go all or nothing. Ven charged Arith with a handful of attacks. He threw a punch toward her face. She attempted a counter, which was successfully blocked by Ven. For several seconds, they began to attack, block, parry, and dodge each other's attacks. Arith attempted to try and chop toward Ven, but he grabbed her hand, sweeping her and forcing her to fall to the ground. He then put her into an armbar in an effort to break her arm. She had been trained in the most advanced martial arts. She grabbed hold of her arm that had been in Ven's grasp, allowing her more time to break out. She then got to her knees from the armbar. They had now been in a position called guard. With Ven being on the bottom and Arith being locked on top, this technique had been present in a martial art called jujitsu. From this position, Ven put his right leg on her hip, forcing her left arm behind his other leg, going for a choke. This technique is known as a triangle choke. Ven had been severely efficient in executing this move. He learned this along with the other martial arts techniques the figure had been showing him. Arith attempted to stand up in hopes of knocking Ven's back into the ground. Ven simply did a backflip, forcing her headfirst into the ground. Ven now had 3 minutes before his time stop on his wounds would be disabled. He needed to put an end to this. Ven had kicked Arith so far into the air as to make distance. He used his manifestation right after. Suddenly, a black hole appeared directly where Arith had been falling. She was within reach of its gravitational pull. Apparently, Ven's manifestation allowed him to copy a reality technique for later use. The last person he used it on was the figure who had been training him earlier. It had been his first time using it, so he had no idea exactly how it worked. All he knew was that a manifestation would grant the individual's desire in the moment. If he used his manifest spell the first time, it would retain and decompose. And then the second time, it would release and create whatever the last copy was. This was due to the power of both of his rings. Arith finally reached the gravitational pull, being sucked into the black hole, when a gold light dashed past. Ven looked in front of him and saw that Arith had been saved by someone. She had been severely injured and was hardly able to talk. It was another member of the Reality Corps. "I'm sorry, Master. I wasn't strong enough," Arith said with a shortened breath. "It's okay. I'll take it from here," a man said. There appeared to be a man holding Arith in his arms while speaking. She then passed out. The man who had saved her placed her in an orb of time, ensuring a delay in potential wound progression. The man teleported to the left of Ven, facing the opposite way from him, and gave him 2 different slashes along his chest. Ven hadn't seen the man at all. It wasn't speed. This was definitely teleportation, he said in pain as he slowly fell to the ground. Time had been up. All of Ven's wounds had resumed, resulting in major blood loss. The man hopped into the air to lay down the final blow. He came crashing down toward the ground where Ven was, fully intending to land on him to take him out. Seconds later, he had reached the ground where Ven was. The impact shook the surrounding area, sending ripples through the ground and creating a big crater. The crater had to be as large as a city. The dust from the impact had cleared, revealing that Ven hadn't been there to take the final blow. He was gone. The man looked around in confusion. Ven was there, and the next moment he wasn't. "I report that we have lost him." He said this while speaking through a black orb that floated by his side. Ven had been lying down with his body cold. Ven had been in and out of consciousness, and he saw a hand being placed on his chest. They were warm. Seconds later, He saw another hand reaching around his head, lifting him up to examine his body and tend to his wounds. The shoulder wound had been patched, ensuring that Ven had lost no more blood. "I'm so sorry, Venny. We will fix this," said a female voice. "Is he all right?" said a male voice. Ven closed his eyes and passed out.